A stunning archaeological find is breathing new life into an ancient legend. Researchers claim to have discovered the true Noah's Ark, the biblical vessel believed to have saved animals from a great flood. This remarkable site, uncovered in Turkey, is causing a stir in the scientific community. Could this really be the ship chronicled in sacred texts for centuries? Welcome to the untold story. Join us as we unveil what happened when the door of the real Noah's Ark was opened, revealing the secrets within. This extraordinary discovery could have significant implications for archaeology and our understanding of ancient history. According to the well-known biblical legend, Noah constructed a massive floating sanctuary capable of preserving select forms of life during a deluge that engulfed the earth. This vessel has come to be colloquially known as Noah's Ark, a gigantic ship built by divine command when the prophecy foretold imminent catastrophic floods. The story of Noah and his ambitious oceanic lifeboat is most famously recounted in the book of Genesis, where God provided exact specifications for the ark's design to withstand the floods: 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. With a cubit estimated at 18 inches, researchers indicate that Noah's Ark would have measured approximately 450 feet in length and 75 feet in width. Comparing it to modern analogues gives a perspective of the Ark's impressive capacity: longer than a football field, taller than London's Big Ben if stood vertically, heavier than any 19th century wooden frigate, and using more steel than the RMS Titanic. Even the largest wooden ships built in modern times fall short of the Ark's proportions. Despite meticulous plans, many experts question whether such a colossal wooden structure could remain structurally sound under continuous pressure from torrential open seas. Religious texts specifically note that Noah received instructions to construct the Ark from gopher wood, likely a now extinct species, and to waterproof the vessel with pitch. These measures maximized any hope of durability. While maritime preservation seems implausible to skeptics, believers argue that divine providence granted miraculous stability, ensuring safe passage for all on board. Some also reference the unknown properties of gopher wood as potentially contributing to significant resilience. Moreover, the Genesis account details the Ark's interior structure, divided into 3 decks, separating cargo space from human quarters and livestock enclosures. This intentional compartmentalization alleviated the challenges of organizing a floating ecosystem for long journeys, such as separating aggressive predator species from more vulnerable prey, or balancing nurseries and waste management under turbulent conditions. Despite the divine guidance, realizing the ambitious scale of Noah's floating sanctuary still demands admiration for its theoretical nautical design, one that could theoretically provide refuge when all else succumbed to the waves. Noah had 120 years to build the colossal floating sanctuary, facing the challenge of systematically stocking multi-deck habitats with diverse animal populations and adequate provisions to regenerate life on a desolate planet post-flood. The magnitude of on-board tasks likely divided between managing the collection of creatures and efficiently organizing consumable resources. Each animal species arrived guided by a divine purpose, selected based on undisclosed criteria, with 7 pairs of clean beasts for future sacrifices. According to conservative academic estimates, Noah's record gathered over 16,000 individual animal passengers. Even modern zoos, with access to telecommunications and global transport networks, struggle to sustain such scale within the Ark's confined spaces. Quarantining contagions, controlling parasites, separating predator-prey tensions, and managing toxic waste accumulation would challenge even modern naval zookeepers. The engineers constructed pens for multiple species, dividing creatures by average size and behavior to facilitate perpetual cleaning. Specialized teams likely rotated cleaning cycles every 4 to 6 hours. During active voyages, the need for secure cargo storage decreased, while the demand for quick access to medical supplies, cleaning solutions, and digestible rations capable of enduring prolonged oceanic swells and toning grew. Careful planning designated the lower deck for machinery, waste processing, and larger, more dangerous animals like adult elephants, rhinoceroses, and hippopotamuses. More docile beasts occupied the second level, where limited kitchen space provided water and basic non-frozen provisions. The top deck housed birds, humans, and nurseries for pregnant pairs or newborns. Once the last pairs of creatures were accounted for and provisions secured, the divine signal for the forthcoming cataclysm ordered Noah's clan to take cover. According to various accounts, unleashed subterranean aquifers and pierced celestial dams combined to trigger a liquid catastrophe that lasted 40 days and nights. During this initial phase, navigation mattered little as global currents swept away all surface structures. The relentless torrents continued for 5 months, making navigation by stars impossible and shielding occupants from recognizable landmarks. Within this chaos, strict routines provided essential psychological relief while contributing to the functional order necessary for survival tasks, like distributing provisions multiple times daily, closely monitoring all creatures for signs of stress or illness, and comforting distressed infants while providing basic exercise to adults. For example, elephants needed over 300 pounds of forage per day, supplemented with digestive enzymes and meticulously cleaned to prevent infections in closed spaces. Equally demanding, more than 100 bird species required extended wings, monitored viruses, secured nests, and diets based on selectively gathered seeds or insects before the journey. Despite the challenges, establishing strict protocols ensured maximum health during the crisis voyage. Inevitably, theories and post-flood explanations from scholars and devout believers ponder what evidence remains of Noah's heroic journey, or even the final resting place of the sanctified ship that preserved the essence of creation. Most theological examinations assume the Ark found safe harbor along the upper elevations of Mount Ararat, based on localized translations of the oldest surviving transcripts. Additionally, regional legends reference strange floating relics arriving at Ararat after punishing floods over millennia. However, contrary theorists highlight how Mount Ararat's current geology formed after multiple lava eruptions, long after Noah's journey ended around 2350 BCE. Furthermore, the ice-covered upper reaches of Ararat prohibit extensive exploration without specialized permits and equipment for extreme conditions. Other proposed locations include Mount Judi of the Zagros mountain range, which ancient regional translations sometimes interpreted as the landing site, along with Durupuna in eastern Turkey, and even the heights of Hiligare along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, purported to have preserved Ark remains as fossilized ship imprints. Advances in imaging technologies, such as ground-penetrating radar, aerial LiDAR scans, and satellite-based magnetic studies, provide invaluable tools for future expeditions. Dismissing even the most dubious claims still demands treacherous ascents to poorly documented elevations, routinely undertaken only by the most committed evangelists with political backing. Combining funding, technical expertise, and regional cultural endorsements keeps hope alive that someday Noah's vessel's mysteries might be revealed once again to proclaim the glory and wisdom of God. Scientific credibility questions any legendary tale bordering on implausibility, and Noah's epic oceanic quest generates understandable skepticism among evidence-focused academics. Dismissals generally center on 3 main critiques: improbable structural preservation, conflicting geological timing issues, and genetic diversity continuity failures that scientifically undermine literal interpretations. Regarding construction materials, Genesis specifies gopher wood reinforced with pitch for weather-resistant buoyancy. However, dendrochronology studies of surviving trees and molecular cohesion theories indicate even steel-reinforced ships rarely withstand navigability conditions for more than 10 years before warping and seal corrosion sink them despite maintenance. Yet God's specifications supposedly enabled Noah's Ark to endure a full year of global floods and remain intact after mountainous terrain and subsequent freezing seasons without the properties of gopher wood. A super wood ship surviving such coercion raises skepticism. Moreover, geological evidence fails to correlate Mount Ararat's supposed landing site with the flood's chronology. Radiometric dating of igneous samples shows current Mount Ararat formed much later, refuting its existence during the 2350 BCE flood recession encased the Ark, according to accounts. Additionally, Ararat's upper elevations remain buried under hundreds of feet of Pleistocene-era ice and snow, conflicting with biblical descriptions of temporary forest habitats seeding post-flood. While regional evidence suggests ancient floods, nothing matches Noah's proportions to leave clear geological traces. Lastly, some biologists dismiss evidence or mechanisms supporting claims that today's terrestrial animal diversity radiated from the Ark's few reproductive pairs. Reproductive statistical models starting with paired survivors can't reach the 30 million catalogued beetle species through natural speciation. Accelerated evolutionary pressures would need to select preferred traits much faster than currently understood, or pre-flood species variation was already significant. Either way, massive extrapolations or assumptions must connect the narrative with empirical research, and expedition attempts to quell skepticism surrounding Noah's mythical tale hinge on finding tangible archaeological evidence. Numerous expeditions sent over centuries to eruption-prone Mount Ararat reveal consistent motivations, yet the evolution of sophisticated equipment, combined with increasingly imposing political barriers, stymie even well-equipped attempts. It seems Evan Baxter was right about rain gear, symbolizing the challenges of proving a sacred myth amidst scientific scrutiny. The collection of surface scrap motivated solely by vague local accounts rarely satisfies skeptical scholars. Today, restrictive international treaties severely limit access for large teams to this sensitive area, while skirmishes between separatist militias and Turkish federal troops add lethal risks to unauthorized climbing expeditions. The few well-funded experiments obtaining permits, like the 2011 efforts revealing alleged Noah-era carbon-dated timber, generate critiques when evidence easily points to natural explanations or hoaxes. The combination of deflated hype, regional instability, and challenging site conditions leaves few responsible options beyond satellite remote sensing studies with inconclusive findings. For those still seeking tangible confirmation, claims of key discoveries and debates over hundreds of failed or fabricated Ark-related relics reflect prolonged debates between scientific evidence and evangelical believers clinging to faith, despite clear empirical deceptions. The first controversy follows the International NAMI coalition of evangelical creationists from the Noah's Ark Ministries International, claiming to have discovered legitimate Ark remains during unauthorized Mount Ararat climbs in 2008. Beyond illegal trespassing charges, carbon-dated results later revealed misleading documentary editing and undisclosed sponsoring from local guides with ulterior motives. Another publicized instance includes American astronaut James Irwin's collaborative Turkish dig in 1987, where mountainous Ararat plateaus yielded seasoned wood fragments that garnered immediate attention before realizing the inconsistencies in geological data. Subsequent analyses labeled Irwin's findings as artifacts from erosion rather than flood victims. Even retracing steps through countless archives of Christian hermeneutics suggests the post-flood chroniclers selectively glorified Ararat atop alternative mythographic peaks that needed precise historical attributions. While conclusive evidence of Noah's Ark's existence remains elusive, the quest continues to captivate imaginations and fuel debates. Balancing faith and scientific inquiry demands careful consideration of archaeological discoveries and theological interpretations. The enduring allure of this ancient legend inspires curiosity and fascination, blending the realms of history, mythology, and spirituality. The pursuit of evidence for Noah's Ark continues to capture imaginations, despite numerous challenges. One prominent case involved a widely publicized 1987 expedition led by astronaut James Irwin. Initial reports suggested the discovery of wood fragments on Mount Ararat, thought to be remnants of the Ark. However, subsequent analysis revealed inconsistencies, and the findings were attributed to natural erosion rather than human artifacts. A similar situation occurred with the Durupinar site, a formation resembling a ship discovered in the 1940s. This site has faced credibility issues, but ongoing research has unearthed evidence of ancient human activity dating back over 500,000 years. The materials found, including clay and marine sediments, suggest prolonged human presence under changing conditions. Despite skepticism, historical accounts and modern technologies continue to fuel the search. Notably, satellite imagery and genetic studies of marine life in the Black Sea have shown evidence of a massive flooding event. These findings align with the biblical timeline, indicating that the Black Sea, once a freshwater lake, was inundated with saltwater from the Mediterranean, leading to significant ecological changes. Ancient texts, such as those by Flavius Josephus and accounts from Marco Polo, also mention ark-like structures scattered across Armenian mountains, further sparking intrigue. The Epic of Gilgamesh, predating the Bible by over a millennium, parallels the story of Noah with remarkable detail, suggesting a shared cultural memory of a great flood. Researchers now explore the possibility of a real historical event that inspired these stories. For instance, the sudden flooding of the Black Sea and genetic divergences between marine species support the idea of a catastrophic flood. This aligns with geological evidence and ancient oral traditions from various cultures across the Middle East and Asia. The interplay between myth and reality remains a subject of debate. While literal interpretations of the Genesis flood story face scientific scrutiny, many theologians acknowledge the symbolic and poetic elements within these ancient narratives. The ongoing search for Noah's Ark reflects a broader quest to reconcile faith with scientific inquiry, seeking tangible connections to legendary events. As technology advances, the potential for new discoveries grows. The correlation of geological and genetic data with ancient texts offers hope that one day the truth behind the legend of Noah's Ark may be unveiled. Until then, the story continues to inspire and captivate, bridging the realms of history, mythology, and spirituality.